Labor Day weekend has produced a ton of storylines from the racing world. Larson attempted to double again. Chastain stole a win away from another dominant Hendrick car. Prime kicked off their coverage for NASCAR this weekend, and I pulled back within striking distance in the regular season competition between myself and my mom. We'll get into that and more next on Racin-n-Braisin. Well, hi folks, welcome back to Racin-n-Braisin. I am CJ. It is Monday night and happy Memorial Day to you all. I hope everybody is enjoying a day off if you have the opportunity to have it. And please make sure that you do remember our fallen heroes that have made this day and our lives so impactful and memorable. All right, guys, well, let's dive into what we have seen this weekend. There is so much to talk about from this weekend. Of course, we'll touch on how Larson's double attempt went. We'll talk about how the racing was in Charlotte. We'll touch on that big bounce back from Trackhouse Racing with Chastain capturing the win. We'll also talk about Prime's coverage of the race this weekend. Finally rounded out with how things worked out in the regular season competition. I did well yesterday. So let's start things off with the double attempt by Kyle Larson. Yesterday, unfortunately, cut short. Didn't even reach a full 600 miles total in the amount of mileage that he actually raced yesterday. Wrecked out on lap 92 in the Indy 500. He was under a little bit of time pressure. There was all of a sudden a pop-up shower right before the race started, produced about 40 minutes of a delay. And then there was early cautions that also reduced the amount of time he had to play with to get back to Charlotte. Unfortunately, he had plenty of time with that early wreck. It just looked like he messed up. He made his way to Charlotte, got there, of course, with plenty of time for driver introductions, so his front row starting position was secure, and he did, in fact, actually lead a lap early on. I think it was the first lap of the 600 yesterday. But unfortunately spun out on his own while leading in the first stage and was never able to recover fully from that and caught up in a wreck later on in the evening that ultimately ended his night. I was driving back from Maryland at the time that Larson finished up his night at the Infield Care Center in Charlotte, and I was listening to his radio interview. And boy, did he sound dejected. It sounded like he was going to have to think long and hard about trying to do the double again next year. He did say he wanted to do Indy 500 again, but from the way he sounded last night, certainly understandable with everything that happened. He was definitely down in the dumps about the idea of even thinking about doing it. That was definitely a big storyline from the weekend, and I know everybody in the NASCAR world was, whether you're a Larson fan or not, was rooting for him to do well through the day, was rooting for his day to go smoothly at least, and not have to worry about delays. And unfortunately, that's just not how it worked out yesterday for Larson. So I'm sure we'll hear murmurings about it in the off-season or maybe towards the end of the regular season about whether he's going to secure anything in the future to try another double attempt. As of right now, there is nothing secure for him for next season. All right, let's dive into the 600 itself. Carson Hocevar looked really impressive and possibly could have gotten his first win last night. I thought they were definitely a front runner and would have had something for William Byron late. Unfortunately, another engine issue for that team, and that ended his night. I think Hocevar is due. He is running really well, and that team is performing fantastic. If you look at the tracks ahead, Nashville's probably going to be a good one for him, another intermediate track, and he's been performing really well on that. And then they go to Michigan in 2 weeks. That's his home track. So there's going to be extra onus and pressure on Hocevar to try and snag his first win. Hamlin and Byron put on a heck of a battle all night long for the lead last night. The racing throughout the field was fantastic. A rough night for Alex Bowman and the entire Penske group. What happened there? Obviously, Blaney got caught up in a wreck. That was not really his doing, but Joey Logano had trouble. Didn't really hear much out of Austin Cindric. Never really heard anything out of Josh Berry all night long. So concerning that the top four team that has done well on mile and a half this year just didn't have it together last night. But who did have it together last night and put in a gargantuan effort was the Trackhouse group, getting Ross Chastain's backup car turned around in 24 hours to provide him another fast car. He was fast on Saturday, was leading the lap averages for 10, 15, and 20. Unfortunately, cut a tire during the practice and wasn't able to qualify, so ended up starting dead last in a completely full field, 40th position, and snags a win. He absolutely stole that win away from William Byron, but he was coming on. And like that Trackhouse team has been able to prove over and over again this year, they are putting themselves there at the end, continuing to grind out every single race to get Chastain in a position to where he can capitalize. He's got the talent to run up front. Trackhouse hasn't necessarily had the speed for him, but they improved throughout the race to give him speed at the end. And last night he was able to capitalize on it. William Byron absolutely dominated last night and proved that he has got this aero blocking formula figured out. He was keeping Hamlin behind him all night long. Unfortunate for Hamlin, had struggles there late. The pit mishap with the not enough fuel going in, and then got into the wall a little bit. Unfortunate that he wasn't there at the end of the battle, but we did have a great battle there with Chastain and Byron at the end. And Chastain made a power move with 6 laps to go to grab that lead. It sounded great on the radio, and when I watched the highlights again this morning, that was an awesome move. Very impressive. True to Chastain's style, aggressive for sure, but at least it was clean enough that not many people can have something negative to say. He just went in there and he got that win. So great for the Trackhouse team. Very impressed with what they were able to do to turn that around for Chastain. And Chastain at the end after the victory, the burnout was amazing. The melon smash was fantastic, the way he held that to the crowd, and really the crowd was so engaged and energized by Chastain getting that win. And he's definitely a favorite whenever there's a win because everybody knows they're going to see that melon smash. I think a lot can be said about the pure speed and talent that Ross Chastain has under him. If he gets consistently fast equipment week in and week out, I could absolutely see him being a title contender for years to come. So wins help. Wins always help, right? That's the old saying. Okay, let's talk about the Prime coverage last night. Man, that was fantastic. The pre-race was great. Really felt like the old Speed Channel pre-race shows. Remember that with Kenny Wallace and how amped up it was? Corey LaJoie brought a great energy, got the fans fired up. It was awesome to see the fans right there. Did you all catch that one girl that was making faces in the background of that during the pre-race all day yesterday? Hopefully somebody is making some great memes out of that one. So great start to the Prime coverage. The graphics were really good. I thought the stories that they were following throughout the pre-race were well done and presented very well, up to the standard that I think everybody is expecting out of Amazon. The race coverage itself was awesome. They were able to show all the green flag laps last night through either the direct showing of it or side-by-side commercials while there was green flag racing. They definitely showcased that this was a crown jewel event. They made sure everybody knew that, and they followed the racing throughout the field yesterday. I thought that was the most important thing. They didn't just zoom in on the leaders, even though there was what felt like constantly a race for the lead throughout the night, which was great to watch, but there was also a ton of racing throughout the field. And thank you, Prime. You finally showed it to us. We've been wanting that all season long, and Fox just has not been able to do it. Speaking of Fox, I don't know if you guys heard today, Mike Joy made an announcement that he is stepping away from the broadcast booth to join his son in sports car racing. I have not gotten in-depth detail on whether that is a permanent step away from the booth or if this is just for the summer. I haven't really dove into that. we'll have some more details on that on Thursday's video. So great all around on the Prime coverage. A+ from those guys, A++. Let's give them a double. The race last night was really good. We'll definitely score high on the Was It Good race poll. I was happy with it. I was able to watch the first half of it. Some of the first half was having some family time and enjoying that. But got on the road and put it on PRN for my travels home last night, and really enjoyed listening to that race last night. Okay, let's round it off with how things ended up in the regular season competition between myself and my mom. I hope all of you got a chance to watch yesterday's special on-location pick video. We showed you guys how we do our normal race day picks. We just had the great opportunity to be able to do that in person. Normally that's something that we do over the phone, but Mom and Dad are on their farewell grand tour as they make their way across the pond. And this weekend was our opportunity to say goodbye to each other. So we couldn't pass up the opportunity to give you guys an insight into how we engage with each other in our NASCAR fandom. So I hope you all had a chance to enjoy it. Be sure to leave a comment down below and wish them the best of luck. I am so proud of them and so happy for them. Okay, now that I've got myself back together, let's talk about how things worked out for the regular season competition and yesterday's picks. I had first pick yesterday, as you guys know, and I went with Allmendinger, and that was a great pick for me. He got me a top 5, finishing 4th. And if you were watching yesterday's video, you saw that the 3 drivers I had on my list, Chastain, Keselowski, and Allmendinger, all had top 5s yesterday. So I don't know what was in the crabs that I ate at our get-together the other day, but apparently they gave me clairvoyance enough to know who to pick yesterday. Unfortunately for Mom, her pick of Reddick did not work out for her. It looked like he was going to be a top 5 finish last night, for sure. Unfortunately, they had a late speeding penalty on their last green flag pit stop. They were driving really hard to try and get that lap back and got into the walls. So put a damper on that night for the 45 team. They finished 26th last night. So that pulls me now within 23 points of the lead. So I'm definitely within striking distance. And Nashville is up next with Mom getting first pick. Like I said, guys, Nashville is up next. Be on the lookout for Thursday night's video where I preview all things Nashville, talk about the schedule, talk about what I'm looking for, and recap any news that we have missed through the week. Until then, guys, I hope you all have had a great Memorial Day weekend. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell icon for me. All of your likes help me out tremendously, and the more you share, the more I'm able to share. So until Thursday night, guys, take care of yourselves and have a good one.